Welcome to The Shift, the podcast you want to be listening to for positive, radical change. My name is Nancy Leeds Gribble.
And I'm Alicia Ziegler.
And we are your hosts. And our mission is to bring you stories of inspiration and motivation, along with information that is going to help you make the shifts you want so that you can create the health, the life, and the body you desire. So we are so excited you're here.
We had a little break, so it's nice to be back.
Yes, it's very nice to be back. It's very nice to be back. And 2024 is off to a bang.
It is off to a bang. Nancy's been busy networking, and she is hosting all of these master classes and these conferences, and it's super exciting. So she's been really busy. And today we thought that we would talk about something that is very near and dear to my heart and only came up as a topic because the other day I decided to go out to the shed and assess danger and to assess what I had been holding on to book-wise, because I definitely am an avid reader, as you can tell. Oh, other side. And I was like, I'm going to donate my books and go through them. Lo and behold, I opened the door and water damage from the rain and some of the boxes led me to purge, if you will, and shift things around and move things and trash things and really kind of do a deep dive into, honestly, what I would say is most important.
Yes, I love it.
Kind of what I wanted to lead into today is I think that we forget, because even though I'm removed from the shed, it's still connected to my brain, right? Like I know that it's there. There's things out there. That's just a weight, even though I don't see it every day. So between that and then the environment that you do see every day, it has a mega impact on how you function.
Yes. Oh, I 100% agree. And it's very funny, as you know, when you're studying nutrition and you're studying health, there's usually a conversation about clutter. And somebody put it best. It stuck with me. And it's like the clutter of your home or the chaos, if you have a very cluttered home or something, is your internal environment on display. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's so true. And I see it a lot in people that I work with that are very kind of chaotic and hectic and like, I got to be here, I got to be there, like that busy.
Like frenetic behavior, right?
Yeah. And then you go to their house and you're like, oh, I see.
Right. And I think the thing that people neglect to realize is if you fall asleep in that environment and you wake up in it, it's the first thing that your eyes are absorbing is all of the stuff that's unhandled that you have at some point probably said, I need to handle that. And then it just had a domino effect. And now you're here in this, as you would say, chaos. So I definitely... I am a former professional organizer.
In case anybody needs one. No.
Very much. And I worked with a New York Times bestseller. And we had the pleasure, I would call it, because as my mom would say, pardon my language, Alicia loves to go through people's shit. So that's your disclaimer. And I have probably been doing it since I was yay big. And I love to categorize, organize, and downsize. And for those of you that don't know, everything I pretty much own besides the book collection that is now donated, I own in one room.
Yes, so, I did not know that.
Yes, I am very, very a huge proponent of I only want to have in my life what serves me.
Yeah.
Right? There's no need for the excess or if people attach their identities to like, I have all this and I do all this. But I think what happens is you start to bring in so much that you kind of lose yourself in it.
Yeah.
And so paring down allows you the opportunity to breathe, organize and, move forward. And so like we were saying, because we were having a great discussion for something that might come in the future, it really does say a lot about your personality and your behavior and all of that, about how you tackle those projects. So when you would go to these people's houses and see the chaos, what was the
Yeah.
first thing that you thought?
I
For
see their
yourself?
internal world on display. I really did. And it was the odd man out that that didn't match up. But most of the time it was, if they had crazy chaos in their home, they had crazy chaos eating patterns. They
Mhm.
had no kind of
Schedule.
systemized habits for their own lifestyle, right?
Right.
Everything was, honestly, what happens, I think, is you're just constantly behind. I
Mhm.
think when you have so much stuff around you, you are constantly behind, because exactly what you said was so spot on. You wake up, you see everything, and instantly you're like, I've got a million things to do. I've got to get all this picked up. I've got to clean. I've got to do this. I've got to do that. You didn't even get 2 minutes to yourself because your
Right.
brain automatically went there. And that's what I think I saw, is that they are the people that time management doesn't exist at all.
Mhm.
Structure is loosey goosey, and they're never taking care of themselves because they are always in this state of, I've got things to do, because
Right.
everything's cluttered and then it's the extra, they might be carrying extra weight
Right.
because they're carrying extra stuff.
Mhm.
Right. And so what you were saying is, like, you start feeling lighter too with the things you don't need.
And I think there's a lot to be said for structure.
Yes.
So um I guess, for lack of a better word, and one that I have come to embrace as a positive, even though I would, I guess, told, I was dictated to, that I was rigid. You're so rigid. Wait, everything's, and people would kind of like get agitated. And I'd say, but I don't worry about where my keys are.
Yeah.
I know where my running shoes are. I know that if I'm leaving the house in a fire, what box I'm grabbing and where it's at. Like,
Yeah.
I, I know how many toothpastes I have. So when I go to the store, I'm not buying extra. Like, there's just a sense of peace that
Yeah.
comes with having organization and some sort of semblance to your life from the second you wake up until you go to bed, and having some sort of routine and being able to do all that. And I will say, having even worked with hoarders, that it's very true that your environment says a lot about what's going on with
Yeah.
you just in general. And so I was thinking that this would be kind of a fun thing to keep exploring, because it's, in honor of spring, a
Yeah.
little
Spring
spring
cleaning.
cleaning, doesn't hurt anybody. Um, but I was going to ask you, how do you usually start? Whether it's, let's say it's not a move. Let's say you've been in a location for a while,
Yeah.
or friends called you and said, hey girl, I'm gonna, organize my closet, or I need some help. I've done garages, so this
Yeah.
is, I got pictures, you guys. Whole homes done by myself. So it's something that, there's a bunch of different ways that you can go about it, but I'm curious how Nancy goes about it.
Yeah. So, I mean, in any given room, we'll pretend it's my closet. Like, I do a
Okay.
closet clean out a lot. And it's going through and first being honest. Like, we don't need 5 different size clothes. We don't
Right.
need the 2 to the 12. We don't need all that. So it's getting honest, getting honest. You got to get honest right now with what you need, what serves you in this moment, what you can wear, and food. If don't hang on to expired food, right? Like,
Right.
so let's lose the stuff that you literally can't wear, can't eat right now. Papers, we'll tackle that later. And then it's going into really taking a look at, if you're in your closet, I have is how often do I wear this? And that goes into the pile of keep donate trash. And this is the Mel Robbins rule. 5 minutes. You think it, you got to do it, you got to act on it. You can't be just like delaying and delaying. You don't want to put things in the maybe pile. The
Right.
maybe pile. You need, for hoarders, I'm just going to backtrack there because I say 5 minutes because they attach emotion to a lot of things and memory, right? From working with hoarders.
Yes.
So I'm like,
mostly therapy.
You can have your little seance or whatever you need to do, your thing with that item, and then let it go. Like it's just collecting dust and somebody else can use it. And that's really where I start with everything is what do I need right now? I take a look at it and go, have I used it? Have I worn it? Have I anything in the last 6 months? Exception.
The 90 day. Have I used it in the last 90 days and will I use it in the next 90 days?
Well, clothes, we got to give more than 90 days, but yeah.
I always tell everybody for one piece you buy, 2 pieces better go out.
Yeah. Well, my sister's husband, I always loved his word. He's like, I always tell Linda's my sister, she needs to keep the house volume neutral. Something comes in, something needs to go out. Something comes in. I don't think she listens. You know it, Linda, if you're listening.
You can call me. I'll make it look like she's volume neutral.
She might call you. but it really is. You have to get really honest. We don't need this much stuff. We are blessed. Listen, if you have a lot of stuff, you're blessed. Like share it. Yep. Share it. There are other people that actually the thing that's sitting in the back of your closet could really use. And
that's kind of what what sparked the whole book purging is because I was like, wow, I'm fortunate enough to either have purchased these maybe at full price when it first came out years ago or at a used bookstore, and sharing is caring. And I think the gift of reading and I was joking, all the self-help books that I've read and all of that, like it's not something that I need to necessarily revisit, especially in such a technological world now, and everything's at the fingertips of, I'll just Google it if I need to pick up a thought or remind myself. So I was like, I'm going to let the entirety of all of that go to somebody else. So, but it does. I'm thinking for some of the folks that I worked with that I was organizing their closets, they were 12 times the size of mine. I was going to send Nancy a picture the other day. I was like, that is the cutest outfit. And I go, I can't wait to have a big closet. And then I was like, I wear the same 5 things. Like, but in organizing all of that stuff, what I noticed is they felt it was good once it was done, but the amount was still stressful because you're responsible for now everything that you own. Yeah. And that can kind of also layer in all of the things. I know I had a friend who just passed and they're cleaning out her grandma's house. That's a lot of objects and tangibles and things that are now their responsibility, And I always joke with my mom, every time she goes on vacation, she's like, don't throw my shit out. And I go, look, whether when you go, that's what I'm doing anyway. So but there's a responsibility in how you want to live your life and how you're showing up in the world and the things that you want to do. And I think that if you can organize your stuff, and as much as I love the Marie Kondo, like if it brings you joy, I think you can justify anything bringing you joy. People eat bad food all the time and justify it as joy.
Right.
It's a very slippery slope that you need to really know yourself. And that is why I'm definitely team, like you said, look, if a button's missing and you haven't sewn it on, let it go because you're not going to sew it on. If it has a stain, a tear, you think you're going to wear it, let it go. Like if it is not something that is in your rotation, it just means it's not a part of you anymore. You're not drawn to it. It doesn't feel right to you. It might not be your style anymore. Maybe you've outgrown it. To be honest with you, and I can show you guys my closet. Okay. It's tiny, but half of my little, armoire thing is jackets. And I live in California. Yeah. I always save jackets for that occasion. And I wear the same one jacket to all the occasions.
Yeah.
So it is. And I think if we were going to really dive deep into the spring cleaning, it is about being honest. Because
Yeah.
here we are, we've started a new year. We're going into like our almost first quarter, we're getting there. And how honest have we been since we started about all the goals that we've had?
Yeah.
If it was to eat well, if it was to get things organized. And that's why I say, even if you start with a drawer, because there is something so peaceful and meditative about cleaning something out and knowing that it's done, that you will think about it.
Yep.
It will bring you calm, and it
Yeah.
will give you the sense of accomplishment. And I think that's what people thrive on and is needed right now is
Yeah.
I did that. I accomplished that. I got that done. I said I was going to do it, and I had follow through. Go me.
Yeah.
And I
Go
think
you. It's
it's
a
a big deal.
tangible in a world of intangibles. It's like cleaning, right? Like there is a payoff. You clean and you're like, yeah, maybe didn't want to clean, but everything's so pretty now. Don't touch it. Don't go to the kitchen. No.
Same thing with
But,
your
but
fitness,
But
right?
it is when you have those bags and you're like getting rid of them, it's a purging. And it can be very hard for some, some things. And what you were talking about with the clothes, I forget exactly what you said, but that's kind of don't like letting go of like people will hang on to something because they're like, I remember when I went to my dance with so and so.
And here's what I tell everybody, Nancy. This has been my solution for the years that I worked with people. I said, take a picture of it.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Just have the picture. Because if you're not going to wear it, let somebody else who can't afford that go to Goodwill and buy it at $6 and wear it and feel like a princess in that dress.
Exactly.
Like
Exactly.
you're giving the gift that somebody else may be running around going, God, Mom, I wish I had a prom dress I loved. And it's sitting in your closet and you're just holding it. Right?
To a T, that is how I think. People are always like, you should sell, you should do this. I go, I like to donate because I just feel like it's one way I get to like give back in a weird way. And I know somebody is going to really appreciate it. And that means even the clothes that have tags on them, those clothes you buy that you're like, yeah, I'm totally wearing that. And then a year later, it's like, no. And my rule kind of with stuff too, is if I put it on, if I don't feel either exceptionally comfortable or exceptionally fabulous, like, okay, I need one of these two happening. Like I feel really good or I feel really comfortable. Yeah. It's got to go. Like, I don't want something where I'm like, oh my God, am I worried over here? Am I worried?
You don't want to live in the in-between?
Yeah. Yeah. And so that's another great way. So, with clothes, but really that's a perfect place to always start. The kitchen. If you have a crazy kitchen, if your pantry's a hot mess and all the junk food is right there at eye level, like, and you can't, like, we know the veggies are going to the back and rotting. Like you got to organize your pantry and you have to organize your refrigerator. Wes laughs all the time because I label my jars and he's like, thank you God that you labeled that was popcorn kernels. Because I would never have known that was popcorn kernels or that those were almonds. And I'm like, shh, it makes me happy.
But I think the thing that people forget is we are almost machine-like. Like we see it and it processes in our brain and it just offers peace. There's no confusion. There's no question. You see it. It is what it is. We're moving on. Like that is why glass jars and plastic Tupperware became so popular. It wasn't because you're dumb and we need to label it so that you can understand that it's a popcorn kernel. It's because it honestly creates like a sensorial, like I see it, I can take the top off, I can read it. Like it's all the senses. It's all the things.
It's all there. Your veggies, your fruits, bring them to the forefront. Like get them even. So I tell people with their food, like no shame in buying pre-cut veggies and things like that. But honestly, get them out of the bag that you bought them in and put them in a container. You can see them because Otherwise, that's why people think eating healthy, eating whole foods is expensive, because so much of the food goes bad because it went into the refrigerator. There's no system, there's no organization, and then they have to do a mass clean out. So we want you to do the mass clean out before and make space for the stuff coming in, but then you have to get it out of the bag. That's such, people are like, that is actually part of my food prep. If I buy like chopped up broccoli or cauliflower, out of the bag, it goes into the containers. I like all the glass, but because I eat them, then I don't forget them in the drawer. Oh, that's Bentley.
That's Bentley.
Yes. Bentley wanted to say a little something.
Bentley was like, speaking of broccoli, let me have some of that. I'm surprised Pixie didn't say anything on the B word.
But it's so, your environment. I just loved it that you brought up this topic, because your environment in your home really sets the stage for how strong you can be too when you're not in your own environment and you're out somewhere else. So the more you can clean up here, then you feel more secure when you're out in the environment of, everybody's having something different to eat, and or whatever it might be, and you're like, no, this is how I roll, because you're not chaotic and you're not just grabbing what's in front of you and things. It just transfers over.
You know what? That's kind of a profound statement, because even though, like I was saying, everybody's like, oh, you're kind of such a hard ass about the way that everything is, or you're such a neat freak, or, all the words that I'm always like, that's awesome, I don't care. But you're right, Nancy. And I don't think that maybe I ever gave myself that credit, and I will, because I am not afraid to sit down at a table of meat eaters and say, I'm not eating that.
Yeah.
Or I brought my own food.
Right.
Or you did what? Like, I'm the person on 4th of July that shows up with my entire picnic basket all for me. Like, I got no qualms about saying, this is who I am, and this is how I represent myself. And this is how I want to show up in the world. And it's not an elitist attitude. I do not think that I am better than anybody, but I definitely feel like there are times where I've shown up and I was like, I have insight that can help you, because I can tell you on the fence about something, or you're struggling. And that was kind of one of my favorite parts of also being in the organizing world. And I mean, I just thrusted myself in. It was just who I was on such a crazy level, but it was more so than just the conversation, as I could show people, you don't need that to be you.
Yeah.
And I don't think that this is the old you, and you're looking to like something down the line and the future you, and this doesn't represent that anymore. So let's get rid of it. It's out. Move on.
I love it.
Let it go. And people, I think, are afraid to let go. And I always say, well, worst case scenario, there's Amazon. You can order it again and probably had a deal. And if you're anything like me, and like as an actor, right? I do a lot of auditions, and we always joke like, Nancy, I needed a lab coat, or I can run to the Goodwill, because somebody kind enough to clean out their house was like, I don't need this nurse's outfit anymore. I no longer need that. And now I'm benefiting in a full circle capacity, right? It's almost like, because, I don't want to throw everything in the landfill. That causes me anxiety. I am not one of those like, oh gosh, let's trash everything and put it in the landfill. So how can we be eco-friendly about it, take care of ourselves, and in the process, really kind of set ourselves up for success? So I would say, if you were going to start anywhere, I always say start in your bedroom.
Yeah.
Closet, your nightstand, like things that are right around you when you're sleeping, so you don't feel like, how these pens and these books and these whatever objects. And then allow yourself to go to the bathroom, because that's where you get ready. If your countertops are really full, you've got expired medicines, you've got old makeup brushes, things like that, like go through your bathroom, and then literally go out into, the kitchen, the living room, and eventually your garage too, because for those that are lucky enough to have a garage, I'm not, but someday, and you go into your garage and you think, oh, it's fine, I just parked my car here. You don't just park your car there.
Right.
You're looking at all of the things the adventures you're not going on because of the projects that aren't handled, or like, right? Like I have a bike
Right.
ride.
True.
I have my golf clubs over here. I haven't been able to dust those off and get those out. Here's that basketball that's flat here, right? And all of that has a psychological weight that we don't think matters, but it totally matters.
That's so good. Yeah, it does matter.
It
You've got me
matters.
thinking about my garage now.
Right? Put your phone out there. I'll help you. I love garages, but I mean, or even you know, you want to build something or paint something or whatever, and you're like, well, I would in my garage, but, and if there's a but in your life, and it's not the kind that you're trying to grow,
Right. Right.
use your blessed asset, then it's time to kind of really, like we said, get honest.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. Just on the butt thing, I always would be like, how big is your butt? You know, like I want to, but how big is that? How big is that butt?
Oh yeah, blessed assurance, not blessed asset. Yes, and how big is it? That's right.
Yeah, but it's I love it, and I'm thinking of what I can't wait to get rid of, and I am a purger. Like my whole family, everybody knows if Nancy's not using it, it's not sticking around. And my sister Linda, again, if you're listening,
I love you,
she
Linda.
loves to tell the story of one day she was over. It was my birthday, and I would get This is when people sent birthday cards, and I read my birthday card. I would read my cards. And this is terrible, and then I put them in the trash can, and she's horrified. Because Linda is very sentimental, and she likes to keep things, and she's like, what are you doing? You want to display it on your counter? I'm like, I read it. She's like, but don't you want to look at it for a few days? I'm like, no, I read it. I took it right here in my heart and I'm putting it in the trash.
Nancy recycled it, not trashed it.
She recycled it. Yes, it went to the recycle. She was horrified. And the running joke in my family has always been, don't leave anything out too long because you're not going to see it.
And that's what my mom will say. Don't buy her anything she can't use. She'll regift it, give it away. Oh, you like, it serves no purpose. Yeah. If it doesn't serve a purpose in my world, I'm like, what were you thinking when you gave this to me?
Yeah, right. And this one, I actually remember when I first started in the whole nutrition arena world.
Yeah.
One of the very first books was Mary Lou Henner's. She's very into healthy eating and stuff. And I was reading her book, and I remember she talks a whole section on clutter, but she talks about never leave a room empty-handed. Like pick something up and put it away. And I was like, oh, such good advice. So that's your takeaway today, people. Never leave a room.
That is
one
your
of them.
Takeaway. Yeah, and I'm trying to think, like, I don't want people to be like, oh, like, what do I do? Or where do I start or whatever? I would say don't downplay the immediate reaction when you ask yourself that question.
Yeah.
Ask yourself, where do I feel the most anxiety? Whatever comes to you, if you're like, oh, my closet, my sock drawer, my garage, that is your soul speaking to you, telling you, please go tackle this, because after this, everything else is going to feel easier.
Yeah.
Those projects after that are going to be like, this is going to be easy. I'm just going to carve out an hour. And for me, I try to like tag team my projects a little bit. Like I'll throw on a little Netflix on my computer and clean something or organize something so I can kind of listen, or a podcast. Yeah. Oh, give a shift. But you could really not feel alone in doing the project. Yeah. Now, if you are, let's say, like my friend, and you're at someone's house and you've lost somebody and you're not there yet, get support. Because you'd never want to feel like you're, obviously I got rid of it, but I wanted it or whatever. But like my grandma wore an outfit that was infamous in the family and everybody talked about it. And it was one of those, well, who's actually going to really store it? What are we going to do with it? Is moths going to get, like, at the end of the day, do we really need grandma's jacket? Yeah. I took a picture, a beautiful picture, and I sent it to everybody. I said, here, everybody owns the photo. Right? Like I know that there's something like, oh, but I can hold it. You're going to hold it for 2.6 seconds and then you're never going to see it for 30 years. Right.
That's
right?
exactly right.
And
Yeah.
so it's really about, what do you want the rest of the 2024 to look like? What were the goals that you made to yourself? Have you been really honest with yourself up until this point? And if you're struggling in any way and you're feeling bombarded or disgruntled or distracted or whatever, just clean something, because it gives you such a self, like, like purpose
Yeah.
and
100%.
satisfaction, that you'll be like, oh, I'm just going to do my whole house. And then anybody that needs me, and
Yeah.
you'll free up time, stress, probably be able to make a better schedule for yourself.
And
You know,
yeah, well, you'll feel right back to circling back to the beginning. You're going to feel lighter and you're going to feel like, okay, I don't have to tackle that. Like it's done. Now I can actually, maybe you need to, you wanted to start working out, or now you can get to the kitchen and be like, maybe I can meal prep today or food prep, whatever it looks like. There's something very much about an organized space. And like you said, if you can't do it on your own, and you can't do it on your own, if you've been talking about it for how long, Alicia, what would that time frame be?
well, you know me. I'm like, are
Oh,
you
real
talking about
people.
for a week?
Let's talk. I'm sorry, real people.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. At least 3 to 6 months.
Okay, so if
If
you've been
anything
saying
over,
3 to 6 months,
over that, yeah. Because here's the thing, that's a deeply embedded, I'm not doing it. Dot dot dot. Why?
yeah,
There's something going on that you're clinging to because you don't want to let go,
yeah,
which now means you're not letting go of anything in your life.
yeah.
It's like
And the
holding on to
start
a
is
bad
the hardest part.
relationship that doesn't
Oh,
serve you. And it's so hard.
yeah.
Yeah, it's not easy. I mean, for people like me, but
Oh, yeah.
I'm not
Normal
like
people again.
everybody. And I am a
Yeah,
little like, oh, thank you for my card. It's going in the recycler, except
yeah,
the one that you sent me, I saved.
yeah,
But every once in a while, you're going to save things that are important to you, but
yeah,
it's got to matter and have meaning. And in your heart of hearts, you're going to know. Like, I think we discredit how much our instincts will tell us, you don't need that.
yeah,
Hey, you know what? You don't need 6 of the same whisks, right?
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
unless you're starting a kitchen in some foreign country and you don't want to buy, like, if it doesn't have a reason, let it go.
Yeah. I'm putting it out right here. Every room in my house is very organized, except which one do you think is
Well,
not?
you said the garage.
The garage, but my office. My office has become a little bit of a catch-all space. And
Mm.
I was just thinking, I'm going to timeline myself now. I haven't really been putting it on myself like, oh, I'm going to get to my office. Mainly my drawers. I just need to like go through them and, revamp, get all 2023 stuff out, 2024. Some old books can go. And I'm like, as you and I are diving into some 2024 clarity,
Yeah.
I'm like, you know what? It will do me and my mental space a really good service to get that clean clarity of my office space too. So that is my takeaway from today. That is what I'm going to work on, and I'm going to give myself by the end of March. It has to be done.
Nice.
Yeah, I want
And
it to be done like fully, like the way I like things, labeled and pretty and
I
all the
know.
things.
All my 5 things in my closet are color coordinated, and
Yeah. And so that's, I think, for today, really
yeah,
just what you said. Think about, everybody has something they could think about. Like, and just if you need to just start small in one room, start with the bedroom.
clean out the receipts in your car.
Yeah.
Excess
Oh, the
bags
car.
to go get groceries. Like, get a little container, put everything in the back, and then stick it in the trunk. Like, just create space.
So you're saying the car is not a trash can?
Correct.
Okay, like, sure.
Or a storage unit, or yeah.
And then just because we do dabble in that world of nutrition,
Yes, ma'am.
get to your pantry and your refrigerator.
Yeah,
Like,
or call us. We'll help you.
yeah, or we'll help you. Like, honestly,
We'll help
we'll
you.
put you on Zoom, and
Yep.
because it makes such a huge difference. And I'm tossing this one out totally separate when we're
Hi,
talking
ma'am.
about environment and cleaning up your environment. That includes the magazines you read, the social media you watch, the news and the shows that you watch. Are they serving you? And everybody has like their silly show they like to watch. I certainly have mine. But do you know, I have not bought a magazine in line. I don't even know how many years. I hit a point where I'm like, these magazines just make me feel bad about myself. I'm
Mhm.
like, these people have all of this stuff and they're this or they're that, or I wasn't reading anything from them that I wasn't gaining anything. So pay attention to what you read. Is it causing you to compare? Is it causing you to feel bad? And then if it is a magazine, get rid of it after you read it. People have stacks of magazines. I'm like, what are you doing with all
Yeah.
those magazines?
I can't. And here's the thing, and then we can go out on this note. It's all a reminder of what you're not doing
Yes.
and how you're not living and how you're not being present or what you wish you had or who you wish you were or what you wanted to be before. And now you're just in it and living and you're like you're kind of just coasting. It's like
Yeah.
the second you get to purge and you feel lighter, like I knew those books were out there. And after I did my bookcase, it's either things that I know if somebody came over, I could hand them and say, you should read this. That's
Yeah.
the only thing that exists in there, or my I haven't read yet. Anything other than that is out. And then I even made a small stack of, I call them airport books, right? But I'm no longer surrounded by everything of like, oh, I will have to work on myself. I should do this. I should
Yeah.
do that. I should read this business leader's book. I mean, I was like, that's enough.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
makes me happy and joy right now is to not be reminded in my space of the things that I'm not living up to or doing. Or I was like, let it go. That's
Yeah.
if it's meant to find you again, it will.
It will find you. Yeah. I love that. I do hang on to books, especially the ones I underline and write all my notes in. Because
I always
sometimes
tell people, you're gonna love what I had to
yeah,
say.
people used to love, they're like, Nancy, when you're done, give me your book. And they're like, we love getting your books because if I would like highlight and arrows, like, I don't know what, I think that's,
Circle, this matter. I did just tell my uncle, I'm like, don't forget to give me my book back. He goes, that thing is highlighted, underlined, dog-eared. I go,
yeah,
that's like my Bible. It's second to the Bible for me.
it,
So
it,
that's the
it's
only one
got a
I'm
lot of,
giving
it's
you.
got a lot of intel.
I told him this is a game changer. Hence, look at it. But
Yeah,
I mean, truly, I think that if you can just start really just surrounding yourself with the things that, serve you,
yeah,
they innately bring joy and they
yeah,
innately love you and you love it. And it's just a full circle thing. Like it's just the object or the weights or whatever it is that will help you grow and
yeah.
exist as the person that you want to be. Not in, oh yeah, I wish that magazine from 1998, right? Come on.
So true.
Or like the seventh hammer that you have in your garage, I'm sure the neighbor might need. Like
Yeah, yeah,
give. It's treated as a giving. It's the gift of giving yourself
yeah.
and others, truly. So
Yeah, I'm so excited I've got like purging on the brain now, and it's just jazzing me up.
I did it for the last 3 days. I will shut up after this, but I was really funny because Nancy and I are doing this course together, and one of the questions was like, "What's something that you get lost for hours in?" And I was like, "Oh, just ask me about my purging the other day." I was like, "It's 3 o'clock. I should eat." Like,
Yeah.
no, but it's one of those that once you get started, it really is addictive and it's so purposeful. And I
Yeah.
just hope that everybody really leans into it a little bit. And you guys, you're not alone. If you need help, call us, text
Yeah.
us, or message us on Instagram. You can hit us up on YouTube comments. Like we are here for you and we can help you. And we are more than willing to take a look at your shit. And help you.
Your shift, you mean? Your shift, you mean? Yeah, this is perfect timing, right? Spring is around the corner. Spring
Yeah.
cleaning, everybody knows it, but there is a reason for it. And take the time. It doesn't have to be, you don't have to overhaul your whole house in one day. You
No.
know, start. I love your suggestion to start in the bedroom. That's so perfect. The bedroom, the bathroom, the closet, and then get yourself to the kitchen. That's where I'm
Because you
taking
got to
it.
wake up and get to the gym, and we got to find our gym bag. And, oh wait, that's next week. No, I'm kidding.
That's a whole
See,
other
guys,
topic.
it's a system. I got systems going.
I'm excited. I love organizing. I'm all jazzed. I really am. I'm all jazzed thinking about it.
Okay, good. Well, I can't wait for you to check back in with your progress.
Yes, I will check back in. And anybody, definitely leave us the comments. If you're like, I'm inspired to do this, tell us, put a timeline on it, and then that way we can see how it goes.
Yes.
Yes. All right. Thank you, everyone. Also, we would like to thank our sponsor, Purium, Whole Food Nutrition Simplified, right? Both Alicia, listen, talking about cleaning things up, we clean up that diet, but this is just simplified nutrition on the go, easy, breezy to get protein, to get vitamins, to get minerals, all kinds of things. Alicia and I, we say our podcast and our bodies are powered by Purium. So
I didn't have it any other way.
On that.
I like structure. I like synergistic things that work together to serve me.
Yay! So we'll put a link below if you're interested. You get a discount code, and if you have any questions, we have answers.
Yeah, $50 off your first purchase. So enjoy shopping.
All right, thank you, and please don't forget, like, comment, subscribe to our podcast. We are growing. We have exceptional guests lined up for 2024. We're so excited, and we appreciate you for listening. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.